All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again to jump into the action here at the European Minor. The ramp-up, of course, leading up to the E-League Major coming up in just a few months, but we have the continuation of the set between LDLC and Godsent. Godsent, who started off struggling a little bit here, ending up dropping themselves down to the lower bracket, but now they've come here, and they've slowly been sort of evolving as the day has gone by, and now we're looking at them stronger than ever, and it's up to LDLC to kind of bounce back here and save their tournament lives, prevent them from being knocked out.
Yeah, definitely. Godsent looking very strong on the back of that train win. Now they're going to go into the map choice of their opponent's Team LDLC, and that's going to be Dust 2. But Dust 2 is still a map where the guys from Godsent can do great damage because they are great individual players. They have great experience, as you talked about so many times, and it is so key that the difference between these two teams. And on Dust 2, just that in-game experience and that aim can carry you a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a tough set. And as you can see, the players are sitting down, so we should be ready to kind of jump into the map here at any moment as soon as they're all readied up and ready to go. But Existence, again, has kind of been preparing this team. One of the themes that I've been kind of pushing here is the fact that these guys, a lot of this kind of newer French, mainly French roster here has not necessarily the experience that I think Godsent brings to the table with the legends like JW, Pronax, Flusha, all of those guys who have been on the international stage many times before. Even Schneider and Lekro, if we go back to like the DreamHack event that they all played at and whatnot there too. Even they've got a little bit more. We haven't seen it yet from LDLC. This is LDLC trying to make that next leap up, and standing in their way is of course one of the big Swedish teams, and that of course is going to make it very hard to do so.
Yeah, basically if you look at experience, there's only one player that has the same level of experience as the Godsent guys, and that is Existence. But to be honest, if you look back at Existence history, of course Existence was a Source player coming from that game as well, and if you played Source and you played or practiced against the very games, you'll know one sound from Dust 2, and that is the sound of constant flashbangs. They were just known for just constantly just throwing flashbangs each and every time you want to do something. Flashbang, 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 and that's just the way that it just dominated D2. So, Existence and his strats on D2 are to be feared, to be honest, and I think Godsent should be worried, and they should take this very seriously, as I'm pretty sure they will do.
What's going to be interesting though is that we won't see a lot of those, a lot of the T side flashbangs anyways. Yeah. They're going to be starting off on the CT side first off. Godsent will be jumping onto the T side, and we will see what they can bring to the table. Going to be cautious to make sure you don't give them the pistol round in the first gun round, because that's where that snowball effect that I also brought up a few times does come into play. And you certainly want to avoid that if you don't want Godsent to crush you right at the beginning of this matchup. It's time, however, to get into it. So let's take a look at things now on Dust 2. First time of the day that we've been to this map.
This is incredibly interesting, the way that Godsent have set up. So they have one Molotov, 2 smokes, and 2 flashbangs. So a way bigger setup than you usually have. Alex going for the early peeks here, but he's not landing them. And that will be a big advantage for the terrorists. They have that plus the utility to go into and open this B-bomb site. But right now, LDLC are stacking a lot towards the B-bomb site. The bomb from the terrorists is heading towards long, and that's completely open. So Godsent in a perfect scenario right now if they decide to move on this.
Just needing to punish it, of course. The bomb's still outside. Again, it's an open path leading up to that site, but they've got to play it cautiously too. But at the same time, they don't want to take it too slowly so as to waste the opportunity to let LDLC cross back over. They're doing good to circumvent this, however. They've all sent them into the B-bomb site to pull up a full defense, but they've been completely mind-gamed out of this now. The smoke of the cross into CT, they're just going to walk right into A. They've all gone into the B site expecting there to be a big tunnel hit, but it's the exact opposite. It's coming out from long.
Yeah, and we talked about really the importance of this pistol round, and also the importance of how you play it. And Godsent have played the exact opposite of the way that I would think they would play it. They played it very tactically, and look at that Snyder! Triple kill from that picked up USP, just destroys LDLC completely. Last man will be Flusha, getting that kill onto Existence. And to really at that point, we usually would expect maybe a dry B hit or something with one pop flash from the Godsent guys. This time around, they mind game, they use smokes, they use Molotovs to get this round win. Something that, of course, we expect they can do, but it's not something we literally would expect them to do on this map.
And this is beautiful from Schneider in sequence. Look, they all just keep jumping up on top of Xbox for some reason. They just feed him these headshots.
Jumping into the grinder.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Existence responding with that one pickup there.
And to continue my analogy with Snyder wearing his jumper, his hoodie.
Yeah, I think the Twitch chat's been calling him Darth Snyder. That's, I like that analogy.
That is fitting. That is
going to the evil side of things.
So 4-man stack going along is not going to work out for LDLC. The bomb is dropped in B tunnels. The terrorists, of course, very reluctant to make any form of move. And there we go. The smoke for CT dropping down. Godsent Pronax can. I'm not sure why I talk like name him Godsent Pronax. It makes no sense. But Pronax can jump into CT if he wanted to. And here we go. Push into B is going to be the sure thing for Godsent.
So they move in there, they take control of it, and obviously the wedge being driven here is going to be mainly Pronax too. Just trying to stop these guys from rotating in. He actually goes down pretty quickly after the one kill there, but Schneider again rolling in. He knows he's got XMS in the corner somewhere here, but it looks like JW is going to be moving in to steal that kill, steal the honor away from Schneider to get another triple. He's actually brought down to 5 himself, but another quick round and another very fast one that goes into the way of Godsent.
Darth Snyder, I like that. I'm going to call him that for the rest of the tournament. That's perfect. So Godsent now on the upper hand of this one. With a good start, LDLC need to battle their way back, but surely they got some stuff up their sleeve. Right now, it's going to be a full eco for them, of course, as we usually expect. Tuano, of course, saving has around 3k because he wants that orb, plus maybe a couple of flashbangs in the next one. Godsent should be running through this one without losing a single member on that team, but let's see if LDLC can maybe upset a little bit with a couple of frags.
Moving up here too, everybody from LDLC doesn't look like they're really going to contest this. They've fallen, or they should say they've sent their players back in towards CT, just trying to see if they can catch any of them on the cross. They'll get aggressive back over there in the tunnels too, just to make sure they're not being kind of taken for a ride again, but it seems like even with that, they're not going to be able to find too much on the cross here. And again, you've got Schneider in the back, just picking them off one by one. It's a shooting gallery for him, at the expense of some of his allies. Seems like always one of them gets knocked out in the meantime, but this time Schneider's not going to find as much success. Only gets that one kill. Lekro, however, rolling in again, along with JW to hold control of the site. They'll pick up those final couple of kills there and get the 3-0 start. But LDLC finding some damage at least there, forcing a few of those rebuys. Again, the main goal there, keeping the money a little bit low for when LDLC, eventually we would hope, tries to pick up a few rounds here.
Importantly for Godsent, they managed to save all 3 rifles. So the weapons that they are losing are basically just a MAC-10, a UMP, U45 if I'm not mistaken. So despite losing a couple of players, you of course don't want to do that in general, but it is probably the best of the worst case scenarios they probably have written down in that round. And now we go into the buy round. Tuano with the AWP, he has 1 flashbang and no armor, so this is going to be interesting. Flusher on a Galil as well.
All of that now. Godsent again pushing out towards the long. They've gotten that player to the dumpster. It's Lekro alone though, and the problem is, yeah, they needed to try and bail him out. At the very least, JW's gotten the trade, so something for something as they do try to push their way out and get control there. Ultimately, the push fails, and not only this too, but they continue the theme back from the last round of pushing into the upper tunnels. Tuanu grabs that kill. Quick reaction from XMS, grabs Pronax out of the sky there, taking him down. 4 still up and running pretty healthily too from LDLC. News can't put a stop to XMS. That's the bomb gone down. It's just on JW now in a 1v4.
Let's see if J-Dubs can bring this one home for the team. Probably a bit too much to ask right now. 1v4. Has a deagle and has head armor, so it's not the worst of scenarios, but it's pretty hard to be honest. And that's Tuanu with another great frag that round. 2 frags for him and 3 frags for XMS. Great play out on long from him. And now the first round on the board for LDLC on their map choice.
Godsent, of course, the money still there, I believe, to go in for another buy. So they're just going to force out 1 or 2 of their guys may have to go down to pistols, but I think there was a little bit of excess sitting on like Schneider and flush at the guys at the top there, so they should be able to try and toss some weapons over if needed. They just be JW down a little bit, but nope, as you can see, enough cash stored there to be able to donate AKs across the board. They're still working with 1 more full buy before they're out of cash, but now LDLC get the double op setup, which is very, very dangerous, really, on any team here. And Tuanu, that aggressive movement, we've seen this more and more commonly over the past couple of months, but he's going to miss the shot. It clips onto the wall. He flicks it just a little bit to the right. Now he's going to fall back, but JW has pushed through the Molotov there. I don't think he's going to want to risk on actually going through the doorway at this point in time, though, so won't be catching Tuanu as he tries to go for that aggressive play. Alex, however, there may be a chance for him to get a kill yet, but the spray is very, very messy, and that's where Flush is going to capitalize. Goes by the way of Godsent, as they get the 5-on-4 advantage to start off this round.
And very interesting is that LDLC this early in the game goes for the double op setup. That's a big gamble for them money-wise, but so far it hasn't paid off. Very close for one of their players to get that pick into the lower tunnels, but he misses the shot, trying to now rotate it onto Card, trying to hold that angle as well and just hold these terrorists down if they want to go towards short. But look at that, Godsent just walking out into middle. Spidey senses tingling. They are sensing that something is not correct with this one, and that fact is that LDLC has no players apart from that one guy just sitting hiding in that B bomb site so he can walk through mid and no one's going to watch apart from Existence, who's trying to be busy with tunnels. But look at that, Existence for the triple explodes all over Godsent and gets, well, 3 kills, and then a last one could pretty much be close, but it's not going to happen. Tuano nonetheless picks it up from his mentor and picks up that double to end the round in LDLC's favor.
That's an actual god play from Existence
Yes.
there. Great stuff from him, finding his way onto the board and making sure that LDLC keeps a consistent string of rounds rolling, which was one of their problems going back onto that last map. They immediately correct that, and now, because we had to see there, Godsent had to go for a kind of
That's
bit
beautiful.
of a charity round there and donating quite a few guns to their teammates. They're going to be broke here now, and they go on to an eco, but Existence putting single-handedly putting a stop to that entire hit. So good stuff from him, and it's all held in the tunnels too. One slip up there, and he's a dead man.
So Molotov goes down there, JW just staying for the peak but not hitting the shot with the Deagle, and now put down to 44 HP, so not looking too good for Godsent. Existence trying to take the peak in mid, but now he's low on HP, so he has to rotate away. Luckily for him, Twan is there with the AWP to aid him, so it's not going to be too bad. Now, Existence needs to put himself into an angle where he can kind of let the T's pass him and then maybe take a kind of a risky position, because his HP is not allowing him to go and peek. So he's just waiting and playing passively. Mistu is holding mid for him.
Mistu wrapping back around here too. Out into the open, flush it on 11 HP. They're not going to catch him yet. 1 or 2 bullets are all he needs to knock him out of the equation here, and again put the advantage even more heavily into LDLC. But well, they won't get him, but they'll get a consolation prize. Pronax will still get knocked out of the equation here, and the rest of Godsent again just stacking up in mid, playing the T default setup. They've got really no means to get beyond this area and onto one of the sites though, so they'll still have to look for the opportunity to do that now. And unfortunately, already losing 2 players and heavy damage onto the remaining 3. This is more than likely going to be a wash regardless of where they decide to go.
Yeah, not much to do when you have just 3 pistols and no armor, and even low HP on Flusher and Lekro as well. So it's going to be extremely hard. They have 1 player, and that's Alex watching that A-bomb side, and he now sees one of the terrorists, so he's going to call for backup, but I'm not even sure he's going to need it. He just sprays through them all. Triple kill from him in the end, not very hard for him, and that's going to be the round for LDLC, tying us up 3-3.
A quick shutdown there, and LDLC again keep their investments going, but Godsent right back onto it themselves here. Possibility for an op was alive, but they have decided not to go for it right now. It's more than likely it would have had to have been a glass cannon buy for whoever would choose to pick it up there. So not realistic at the current point in time. Just going to avoid it there and stick with the 5 AKs, a much safer route. And now we need to see them go back to making their entry kills here. That's something that's fallen off ever since we've seen LDLC pick up the gunpowder there, and it didn't really seem like LDLC needed to change all that much either. Godsent were kind of just walking out into a lot of these positions where they felt like they would be able to confidently push in, but instead ended up losing almost every single duel they've taken since that point. So now need to try and correct that issue. And at the moment, it seems like the path to doing that is going to be just slowing things down with an eventual explosion out. They're not using any smokes or anything, though, so again, tens of the slaughter here. Tanu, he's going to be able to pick up that first kill against Lekron. There's not a lot that can stop him. Existence falling back too. He grabs the kill on a flush when he tries to push out, and they've gone 1 by 1. If Schneider goes out, they're just adding a 3rd man to the death toll here.
And that's just textbook T-side plays. Don't go 1 and 1 out towards a position where you know the CTs will be holding, will be watching. Yeah, it's bewildering to me that Godsent are actually trying to do this. Now they have to regroup and hit something together as a unit, these 3 guys remaining, or else it's just going to be goodbye to this round as well. And this is the round where they forced into. They're buying up completely, and they're not getting anything out of it so far. So far, not even a single kill, only damage onto Alex, and they cannot be happy with that.
Alex also about to flank them here too in a
wow.
moment as he works his way out. That drives the wedge between JW, and he gets that kill onto Prodax for free. Nobody watching the flank, nobody expecting an aggressive push, but with how slowly Godsent have been forced to play this, they need to keep their eyes out for that. Now down to 2. Both of the remaining 2 are heavily split up. JW is going to try to make a move to regroup, but I mean LDLC, they should be able to get a read at this in just a moment as far as where this is being taken towards, but they still have a lot of focus on mid, so in theory they could still, at the very least, get a plant out of this round, but they've got to knock down Existence, and he's been on fire so far in this match.
Definitely. Yeah, only 8 seconds to go and 1 player remaining, that's JW, so he has no time to plant, so not much he can do. And to be honest, it seems like Godsent has 2 speed settings. Either it's bomb rush the bomb site, go really quick, or it's go so slow that you get flanked almost every single time.
Well, it's not only that too, but it's, I mean, last round it didn't really seem like it was that slow. It was just they didn't use utility or anything to get into the site.
That's another thing that's not working out for them.
They took it to a more natural pace with that one, and it seemed like they kind of had the right idea with executing, but it's just they went 1 by 1.
Yeah.
If they had kind of flooded the site with all 3 of them, I may have been able to understand that, but going in on their lonesome, it just didn't really make sense. It seemed like they had flashbangs, but they just weren't connecting either is the other problem, so relying on the flashbangs a little bit too heavily just didn't work out for them.
Agree. So here we do see Godsent on that pistol buy. Going to be pushing out towards short. XMS turns his back and then picks up 2 frags. Easy peasy. JW bounces back with the deagle though. Goes for that second deagle frag, but not going to get it in this first time around at least.
So off of that one, of course, Flusha and Pronax actually netting some kills for themselves. They've equalized this into a 2v2 existence. Bit of a close one. He almost loses his life. I think they know JW's moved in here to try and retrieve the bomb. He succeeded in that, but now where's he going to take this? He's only got 29 HP, so he can't necessarily go out into the open and force these duels. The noise he's made over on the catwalk, though, has been enough to draw the attention of LDLC. They're going to fully recommit to that A bomb site to defend against this, and to smoke in the way they can't be 100% sure. He has successfully evaded them, and he'll get onto this bomb site. He'll even have, a really decent amount of time to get into a post plan. Assuming he goes right for this, which it looks like he's doing.
Yeah, here we go. JW has 1 Molotov as well to use, so definitely going to be interesting to see where he puts that. Of course, Team LDLC will be retaking together. Surely they're going to be retaking at the same time. They don't want to force 2 1v1s. They want to go in at the same time. 1 window, 1 door perhaps. Maybe even the same position, but that's where the Molotov comes into play. Existence just trying to find out the position, and that's the first peek from JW. Molotov goes down, and now he can play with the time, but smoke coming in towards that bomb, so that Molotov is completely negated, but Alex is not going for it yet, and here we go. Tap on the bomb. JW comes in, sprays.
No.
Wow. JW.
Checks the right. Checks the left. And rip.
In the middle.
And he dies too.
Yeah.
Just adding a cherry on top there.
Oh, wow.
So LDLC sneak away with that round. They no business doing so there. They've got a 5-3 lead to work with here. Money is brewing for quite a few of these players. Looking at Alex specifically, he's sitting at like 10k. Bit of a far cry from a lot of his other teammates, but JW, he had that in theory. He just completely whiffs the spray in the wrong position there. So
1v1 and a Molotov for the bomb, and he still just managed to win it. Of course, luckily for the CTs, they had the smoke, but still that is not good for a player of JW's level.
So there you have it now. Godsent falling behind. They've managed to stop the momentum that was built up there within the first 3 rounds, but now they've got to try to get a way to sort of get this back under their belt here and continue to win these rounds. Early damage being found, so some good stuff to start off this round. Both Mistu losing a quarter of his HP and Twanu already being brought down to 20, but we've seen this plenty of times before too so far in this half. It hasn't really led to much until they actually can get some footing and start to push this to a site. For the most part, it's been LDLC just crushing them as soon as Godsent try to peek out onto a site itself.
Well, Existence just falls down there as the terrorists are trying to take over that CT middle. Snidey just taking peeks into CT and now going back to regroup with the rest of the team. So right now it's looking like they can go pretty much anywhere on the map, wherever they wish to go. Existence is ready if the push comes towards short. They have 1 guy watching T-spawn, so no flanks through T-spawn. That's also great, so they got that under control. 1 guy watching long as well, so no flanks there either, and they're going to group up and hit short.
The rest of Godsent, again, grouping up for it now. Trying to push their way into the A bomb site here, but Existence is going to play this aggressively. Moving up now. All 3 of them are waiting, and they don't expect that play at all. 1, 2, and now 3 kills. Another huge play from Existence, and he's put a stop to the entire hit. The bomb's also under his control. He's just going to safely molly that off. Pronax will sit back here and wait for Moat, but there's another flank coming in from long, and he's allowed to push out again! Existence with the 4th, and XMS moving out, finds the 5th and final kill. Once again, Existence single-handedly putting a stop to the Godsent push. The minimal effort.
Yeah, we know Vendetta is sitting there just saying, Kevin, come on! Getting that frags, and definitely good. That was not a good Vendetta impression, by the way. But Existence getting that triple kill, getting that 4K, and just totally cleaning up Godsent.
So with the big plays like that, it seems like our 3rd map may certainly be in the future. Still a long way to go, of course, for both of these teams, but LDLC looking solid as a rock here on this CT side. But hold on now, Schneider. He's going to try to bring this back a little bit as they battle for lower tons. And what is that dirty shot from Twanu? No regards at all for his own safety. Goes right in through the mid doors, finds the trade, and dips right the hell out of there. Mistu, though, gets aggressive, and again, it's those pushes into the tunnels that Godsent are just consistently ignorant of there that they are shut up from. That's a good shot from Flusha to grab Mistu out as he tries to fall back. So the trades are coming in. It's back down to a 2v2, but this round is thrown into chaos very quickly, and currently, LDLC still has control over the bomb.
So let's see here. Pronax and Flusha remaining for LDLC. Twanu and XMS on the other side. The bomb is in lower tunnels. It's under control from the CTs. Flusha just waiting for someone to come and peek him, but of course they're not doing that. Pronax on the other side is trying to flank. XMS has some kind of feeling that this is going on, so he's trying to rotate onto shot, but he just missed Pronax by 1 or 2 seconds. So now the CTs are going to be anxious about Pronax's position because they have no idea where he is, and they have to be wary of every single angle because he can literally come from anywhere.
It's an awkward sort of dance around the map currently here now, where both of these teams are, all four of these players are kind of looking for anything they can find against their opponents here. More importantly, LDLC is trying to defend the bomb here. Pronax, however, wins the first of those battles, and now they have the last man alive isolated. It's Tawnu in the tunnel stairs with an op, surrounded by both players from either team. 9 times out of 10, that situation is not going to work out for him, and it does go the way of Godsent. So after a long string of rounds picked up from LDLC, finally we have Godsent back on the board here.
Definitely. Great job by them to bring it back. And now the timeout is coming in. I'm pretty sure this one is going to be for LDLC. I could imagine them wanting to fix something up after losing a couple of rounds here. They have 6 rounds though, so that's not bad at all for the CT side so far, leading against Godsent. Have been doing most of the fragging so far in this game. Godsent trying to bring it back here in the latest one. And yeah, one thing that we have to note is that on train, Lekro was on fire. So far, he's 1-7.
Keep in mind too that these pauses can in theory be used to like mind game your opponents there. So Godsent, I don't think they've used any pauses yet, like throughout today at all. There may have been 1 or 2 that memory is kind of escaping me, but for the most part they've just kind of gone through with these games without using the pauses. So LDLC may kind of be using one of their own here if Godsent are still keeping to that to sort of mind game a little bit. It's like, all right, they just went around, let's stop the momentum. Let's use one of these 4 pauses we can use at any time to just stall them a little bit here and shake them up a bit, because we've seen a lot of other teams like bigger events already sort of do that. It's an interesting concept to use the pauses with that regard.
Yeah, that is a great theory, by the way. Probably, I actually want to eat my words and say that's probably what happened. We of course don't know who's taking the pauses, so we're just trying to guess.
Going off the fact that Godsent haven't used one of their pauses yet, and they just won the round, so it would be a bit weird for them to use one.
So here we go, 6-4. JW with the AWP, of course, snatched from the body of a dead CT in the last round. Tawnu on the other side also equipped as well. So right now, Godsent, where do they want to go? Tawnu with the aggressive angle onto short. Flusher might walk into his cross at any time soon, but Molotov forces him away from that position. And now they have this 2-man stack on short. So this is going to be interesting. If they get Tawnu, they're definitely not going to think about having Existence close range in the same position as well. But that doesn't matter. They're going to go through CT mid. Smoke goes down CT. And now it's on to the guys on that B-bomb side to hold tight.
The wedge has been driven here at the same time, though. Alex, look at this position he's managed to get for himself. Boost it up. It's a quick trade from Flusha as they dive in. Mistu finding one more, but Pronax is fragging out. That's the B-bomb side under their control, but Mistu still close up here against these players. He's going to try to take some of them down. He escapes with 1 more kill against JW, and again, the trades are even. It's back down to 2 for either side here, and both from Godsent are stacked up. They're now not have control of the site anymore. They're not going to feel secure to go for that plant. They're going to try to tag team this a little bit as Pronax moves forward into a position that he can go for it, but no, he's actually going to aggress in the window. XMS, he's sitting here waiting for it. He's going to get the spot. A 1-for-1 trade initially. Schneider needs to get this bomb on the ground, though, and while Tawnu is distracted, he'll be able to go for it, but he's looking towards the door. If Tawnu goes in right now, it's a free kill. Schneider not even checking behind him currently, but of course this is always just a guessing game between these 2 players. Something of game sense here, trying to figure out how they're playing it. They're both going to look right at each other in the smoke, but Tawnu, he snuck through. I'm not sure if Schneider's realized it. I think he's got the lock on it though. He's fallen back outside, and Tawnu does not have a clue. He's not even looking towards that door. He'll jump back in, he'll try to check it, but he looks away at the wrong moment, and Schneider will get the 1v1 clutch, giving the round to Godsent.
Great play by Schneider there, and you talked about it. Sometimes it's hard to know, and it's a bit of a gamble going through a smoke like that, but Schneider just plays it carefully, just holds the angle, and he kind of sniffs out the fact that the LDLC player went through that smoke, and just, yeah, perfect play from him, perfect clutch from him as well. And 6-5 is going to be the scoreline. Now it's going to be very interesting to see what LDLC pulls out of the hat now, because they are on a 4th round. They've got Tawnu on the AWP. The rest of the team are going to be on pistols and armor as well. So very interested to see how they're going to make this work. I don't think the way to approach this is playing it as a standard. I think they need to do something in order to shake the system of Godsent. But right now it's looked like a perfect standard 2-1-2 setup really for LDLC. But let's see how this changes throughout the round.
And Godsent here now. All the tunnels early on here, but good nade pressure has actually come back in from LDLC despite the minimal investment they've brought. And Flush it in at 22, Pronax at 47. They aren't really feeling that direct tunnels push anymore that they were kind of posturing up for at the beginning. Stacked forward and got hit by those nades. JW is hoping he can find 1 or 2 of these guys on the back plat here, but no one is in that position. The Molotov 2 is going to miss its mark. He's holding in that first corner there instead of behind the fence, where the Molotov was meant to push a player out from. So Mistu has got a good position, but it is still, in theory, just the one and done spot here unless they completely ignore it on the push.
So let's see here. Bomb still in T-spawn, so that needs to be picked up before they can go anywhere. 1 player from the Terry side also down in mid trying to do battle with Alex, but Alex only equipped with a deagle, so that's probably not going to work out for him. That player has switched up towards short, doing battle with Tuano, but still Tuano with the close range AWP off screen will take one down, but look at that boost in tunnels. And now Pronex with a frag as well onto Tuano, so that's the AWP gone. And the terrorist will be looking to hit the speed bomb site surely.
Trying to clear this out as best they can, and there's Schneider finding one, but here's that corner play too, and oh, they see it coming from a mile away. Mistu not going to trick him at all there. Alex somehow gets, oh my god, Alex gets not only that player in the back, but then he gets Schneider too. The round again is not over yet. Alex is going to push in looking for more, and he manages to clip JW out. Flush is going to trade, but now Flush has only got 22 HP, 7 seconds to get the bomb on the ground. He's going to go for it. XMS pushes in, and there you have it. XMS lines up the final kill. It's LDLC that swipe another round directly out of the hands of Godsent.
That was an absolutely beastly round from Alex. The fun part was that he was aiming at one guy, but then the second guy behind him walks straight into his cross and he gets that frag. Then he gets a second 1D. We're going to get it now. Look at that. That makes no sense. But he gets that second one as well. Gets the third frag. Also not a 1D, but still a kill. So great job from Alex there, utilizing that deagle to its full extent.
Technically a 1D.
1D?
Takes one bullet to kill him.
That is true. Then it is a 1D.
As far as I understand, it's a defining factor. The others you just miss.
That's true.
So Godsent again, early on here, just sending a whole bunch of their players into the upper tunnels. Not likely that they would go for a push, but it is seeming like they're going to try to go for a fast setup on a mid-B split, possibly.
Let's see here, Pronax close range with that Tech 9. The position where that gun is best, and he's going to try and make his way out into CT mid, using that smoke to his advantage, but he will meet Existence, who's ready and waiting with that farmhouse. Gets another one from him, and Mistu just doing great work as well with the backup. But finally, Snyder will get a peek, and that will gain them entry into the bomb site.
Oh, they'll move in here, the smoke covering it. They're trying to spray through the cross. They want to try to prevent this plan, obviously, with the forced investment from Godsent. If they can stop that from happening, it'd be great, but not looking likely here. Schneider hoping he can catch someone outside of the smoke there with the Galil. He's at 29 HP. When LDLC decide to push back in, this is more than likely going to result in their victory, but Godsent can set this up for a miracle to look great, but already falling apart here. 1 and 2 fast kills for LDLC, and they will pull off the retake there. 8-5 as they look to reclaim that great lead advantage that they've had, but Godsent have been doing a great job of kind of fighting back from here. Yeah,
definitely. It has not been as one-sided as we probably would expect, since this is LDLC's map pick, and they are really, really, really good at this too. Godsent, as I said, has been fighting back and been doing a decent job of it so far. Let's see if they can finish this one LDLC, maybe get that 10-5 halftime score. That will be definitely what they're aiming for here.
But the money for Godsent is just going to be down the dumps currently, so doubt the investment's really going to be there beyond a couple sparing pistol pickups here. For those that have a little bit more, they could maybe buy up armor behind it, but you can already see it as the UI fades away there. It's just P250s and Deagles. Schneider, the only player that actually can realistically afford armor. And I think LDLC knows this. Tuan is going for that aggressive peek again, and Schneider may just bite right into it. He goes for the really early shot, though, but thankfully Schneider's way too far away to capitalize on it, and it actually works to bait him out in the open, so if they get the kill anyway, in Existence, tapping away there, finds an additional kill. It's Lambs to the slaughter, and Mistu grabbing another one in the upper tunnels there, takes out JW. It's just Flusha already. But he's certainly going to look to impact to the best of his abilities. He's found Tuanu. He knows the second one out in mid somewhere. Finds the hit connection. One more bullet will do the job, but also pushing from all directions. LDLC finally are able to shut things down. So
9-5 as we move into round number 15 in this first half. Can LDLC bring it to 10-5, or are going to Godsent bring it back to 9-6? That's a question. And once again, I mentioned this before. Lekro turned up huge on Train, made the difference for his team. Right now he's 1-11, and he just needs to find that same level as he had on Train.
Going into the closing round now of the half here for Godsent. Still wanting to make sure that they can make this as close as possible. Dust 2 is not a map where you want to be looking at it like a 10-5, 11-4 half. You want to try to keep this 8-7, 9-6 with how well balanced this tends to be. But LDLC have different plans in mind. Specifically, Alex, who's had a great half so far, is playing so aggressive right now. Pushing up. He's blinded, however. It strikes back in big ways. However, good improvisation from Alex here. He's able to dive into that smoke. He still ends up going down at the end of the day, but a valiant attempt to kind of escape that after he gets flashbanged.
Agree. And the bomb right now is dropped outside of tunnels, so the question is, Godsent, are they going to pick that up and go straight for the B push, or are they trying to go and rotate all the way through T-spawn and then go for a split A or something like that? Tuano has picked up the first one of the round, now looking towards the lower tunnels, which currently has no inhabitants, and there goes the frag from XMS onto Flush It on the top of mid. So right now it's a 3v4 scenario. The terrorist will have a choice to make.
move into the upper tunnels now. And Pronex is going to be grouping up with them here in a second too. Getting ready to go for that push, but LDLC are biting on an A hit right now. Everybody's rotating away from mid, closer into that side to prepare for it. The smoke has been reapplied to the tunnel, so they have a little bit of leeway, but the real question is, when are they going to detect this and actually start to push back in? Mistu's made the signal, so they will start to shift in, but it's all on him to defend this. He's not actually engaging them, though. He's going to try to waste a little bit of time, but, well, that's a mistake. Lekro gets the one tap. He almost loses his life, though, as he takes that battle when he is peeking through the main doorway. I'll bring him down to 16 HP, but nonetheless, Godsent get into the site, and they'll be able to find the room needed to go for the plant. Two crawling outside, and Schneider actually with a dirty angle there, too. Almost destroys XMS on a little bit of a mini peek into the window there. He gets out of it there with his own life, but also the players in the tunnels, they're not going to see that coming. Pronax, 2 quick kills from him, and it falls to XMS.
So here we go, 1v3 clutch incoming. That's all he needs to do. Not a problem, apparently this. Lekro will shut it down, and finally Lekro getting it done. Lekro coming in with the round-ending kill there, and now we're going to go on to the second half here on Dust 2, which of course is the second map of this best of 3 if you're just tuning in. This is to decide who goes into the playoffs and who goes home.
Yeah, obviously, second map still, so we will have a third map to be played should LDLC take control of this one. But we will wait and see on that one, as LDLC looking good, but not, in my eyes, as good as the kind of momentum we started to see from Godsent back on that last map there. There's still a lot of holes to be seen, but as you were mentioning before, now we go into that T side. This is when, hopefully, that prowess Existence brings as a leader can really shine through. As much like many of the T sides on their other maps, Godsent still brought a fairly basic flair to that one. They're relying mainly on individualistics, which I don't really think were there to a pretty decent portion of that and a half as well. Some heroic spotting out here and there from the usual suspects like Flushin', and again, Pronax has been rapidly improving throughout the day, but now we get to see some hopefully interesting strats from Existence's squad here.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that, and also looking forward to how the CT players, now CT players from Godsent, will tackle this Dust 2 challenge that they have in front of them. Definitely going to be very interesting where they're going to play, if they're going to allow JW to go for some aggressive peaks, which he's used to do, especially with that AWP when he gets that in a couple of rounds. Is he going to go for example, a boosted aggressive short peak? Is he going to go peeking middle? How are they going to utilize JW on this map?
Well, let's get into it now, as the second pistol will begin here, and Godsent goes over to the CT side. Their initial play, however, look at this from Godsent again, aggressively moving into those lower tunnels. Also having Schneider there to support in the event they go up through upper. They found one player here, and some damage will be connected onto him. Pronax is even going to go in the fast cat too. They got 3 guys here. Well, Pronax, okay, just going to take all the glory, I suppose. 2 guys were stacked up waiting forever. Pronax just walks right up and steals the kill on the guy in lower. Now they can try to crunch, though. They haven't spotted anything else at mid. There hasn't been any alert to anything moving its way out towards long, and yep, JW just saw that huge stack of players. They can rotate in. Lekro is going to tap away at 2 through the smoke. The entire hit's dead. That bomb's on the ground. Existence doesn't even know where to find it. He works his way out of the site. He's just going to go for it here, and he sneaks his way in there. Tuanu finding 1 kill, but JW and Schneider trading out the last 2. It is a shutdown round from Godsent, and they're on their way to immediately tying this back up.
Yeah, that was great by JW. Just seeing all the players rotating back, giving the information, allowing Lekro to do the smoke shots because he knows the push is going to come towards B, and he just clicks 2 through the smoke, and that's pretty much the round right there. Existence has no real chance, and look at that from Pronax. That was dirty, to be honest. On the smoke shots as well.
Gets the early warning from JW too, so there's no reason not to go for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Knows they're going to push and just start shooting at the normal path, so they're taking them down. Got to hunt for a little bit, but Mina's applying the right marks there to be able to knock those guys out. Good stuff from him. Good team play overall from Godsent. Very risky in the way that they deploy it, but it works out brilliantly.
Yeah, and that's a Godsent we pretty much know and love from the individuals of these players. We've known them for a couple of years now, and it is doing those risky things, taking those chances, and putting players in positions where they can really shine. And that's what they've done in this pistol round. The question is, can they continue to do this throughout this second half? If they can do that, they look like our contenders to go into the second spot. If they fall off, then maybe LDLC has a chance to bring this one into a third one.
Yeah, this dude trying to sneak his way into the upper tunnels there. Not going to go so well. Flusha also getting knocked out. I think a little bit closer to the A site. Last 3 are just going to try to crunch, since I believe that was Existence. Apologies, getting his way out through the mid doors for free. Hunting for shots with the Eagle. Not really finding a whole lot here, but just trying to hold back the A rotators here so they can push over the tunnels. Good adjustment from Existence, though. And now Tuanu takes out the other defender there on the site. That's Schneider going down. We are going to see JW moving in, but Tuanu again with the Deagle. These Deagles are doing so much work today. That's Tuanu picking up a big kill there, and all of a sudden, LDLC have a chance to upset in their second round here. Godsent will take it slowly. They'll start to wrap around, but now they're disadvantaged, and they've got to try to work with the SMG to get back into the site. Pronax, as you can see, moving in to retake those tunnels. There's no pressure there. It's all within the bomb site, so he is going to be able to line up for the retake very, very quickly, but now Flush is sitting on the cusp of this one. He's got one of these guys down so low, but XMS is going to move into deny. Pronax with the trade, but he too is now down very low. 6 HP. He's got double the HP of his opponent, and that's going to be enough to do the job. He'll shut it down with a kid in handle of enough time to defuse, and Godsent just barely are able to keep their streak rolling now to pick up the second.
Yeah, 6 HP is what pretty much separates Godsent from a round loss there on that last player. So good job by them just nailing that in the end, having a bit of problem. But then again, as you say, the Deagles today have been incredible for both teams. And once again, we see the Deagles coming in, making the difference. Tuanu especially with his Deagle just making a ton of work here. Oh, that's beautiful.
Good stuff from him, but it doesn't really end up working out there as the guys from LDLC end up dropping it there. Very sweaty forehead.
Very sweaty indeed. He is focused as can be. And now the Kobe nade!
Oh! Nice
Money.
Nice little fadeaway shot there, too, to pick up that first kill that he gets. A little bit of an insurance policy in case that nade whiffs.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
so right now, 5 against 2. So this is not going to happen at all for LDLC. And surely Godsent are going to tie this one up 9-9. So we have a ball game now for sure between these two teams. Pronax just doesn't care. Just through the smoke.
Blue corner was the basket, and he just scored a 3-point shot. Yeah. That's basically what happened there.
That is
so there
true.
is 3 players in the corner. Get it?
That is true. That is true. Actually,
really bad analogy.
You have to think about it a little bit, Wood.
I'll take points for effort.
Yeah, that's
Thank
true.
you.
So Bomb right now dropped. There's not much Existence can do here. He has a P250 and there's 3 to 4 CTs just holding that bomb. And yeah, all he can do is sit down, pray for a miracle.
Yeah, miracle will be 1 or 2 kills that would go in his direction here. As he's really just hoping for someone to mess up here. And it just continues to get worse. He almost gets that kill.
Oh,
Feels bad, man. Existence, nothing to be found for him. And now we've got a tie game. 9 rounds to both squads.
So here we go, Byron coming in from LDLC on that T side. They get Tuanu on the AWP. Even can afford some supplies for him, some flashbangs and some smokes as well. So not a bad pickup for him at all. Used to pretty much be our glass cannon so far in this best of 3. So him having the armor and the utility as well is great. So 9-9, no AWPs on the Godsent side.
Tuanu hunting for that extra aggression, working its way up. They know it's coming here. They're right to assume that. Pronax, though, the good timed flashbang works its way in there, but he's able to escape over towards Suicide, and they think he's not there for some reason, or they're just not paying attention to it. They feel he's caught trading out guns. XMS will be able to punish that, and Tuanu catches the second player. So that aggression, although it works initially, is traded back in the favor of LDLC. All right, so the chaos of the initial burst that came out there from Godsent's pass. Now it's time to start looking towards the actual strat here, LDLC.
Let's see here, Snyder and his teammate Flusher just holding it together on short, while Lekro is all along that B-bomb side. So ideally for Godsent, they would want LDLC to hit the A-bomb side, but technically being 2v4 is going to be incredibly hard for them. Also because there's a bunch of flashbang and 2 smokes on the LDLC side, so they can use that to kind of block off the CT positions.
Moving out towards it now, but a very slow path being taken here. Flusha waits around the corner for it. He'll get support from Schneider, too. They're reading this correctly. They know it's on the way, but they still have to do something to be able to stop just the pure force of this hit that's about to roll up to the site. Tuanu pre-finding some of the usual spots there. It's a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of LDLC, but Lekro's going to round his way out from the smoke and CT. Checks up top, but it's a little bit late there. Doesn't really adjust to it in time, and Alex is going to get that final kill. So LDLC, when it was tied up, they managed to hold on to their lead here. That sends Godsent spiraling back down yet again.
Good job from LDLC to bring it back after, well, allowing Godsent to grab a couple of rounds. They are now in the lead once again, as we are 2/3 into the regular time of this one. They are leading with 1 round, Team LDLC. And, well, they have the money in their favor as well, as Godsent are in this quasi-buy. Pronax without any weapons at all, just a P250 pretty much, and a couple of FAMASs as well on Flush and Lekro.
JW sneaking up here too, but oh, nice gift. Just peeks its way out from the side there. Goodbye, Alex.
Goodbye for sure. And Existence picks up one, but instant trade back from Flush, and that's really what I like to see. The revenge frags, the trades coming in 1 second after the initial frag has found place. So good job there by the Godsent players to instantly trade that. JW now once again in the smoke. He hits the second guy. And that is beautiful from JW. Mister coming in from short now. Has not been playing so well on Dust 2 so far, but this could be the round where he shines. It's a 2v4 post-plant scenario, and Mister's going to go towards long with the AWP.
Guys from Godsent, though, are on the cusp of already starting this retake here. Only one down from CT. The rest are going to just flood their way out over here from the catwalk position, and they're not really prepared for that at all. They're watching mainly for the cross back out. XMS trying to give him a little bit of a gift there, but the op shot doesn't really connect that well. JW peeking in for it, and there you go. There's the first kill. Mistu is the last one standing way in the back, and oh, JW, beautiful shots. His 4th on the round. Before Mistu can even get into the pit area to be a little bit of a menace, just completely knocks him out of the air, and there you have it. We're tied again now. 10 rounds to all this time.
Okay, so here is the part where the money is going to get tricky for LDLC, because they have 2 players with 4,100 who can buy, but they also have 2 players on 2,200 who can't buy at all. So the question is, what do they do now? Do they do the quasi-buy with Tech 9s on 2 of the players and AKs on 2 of the players, and then maybe just drop Tech 9s and do a half buy for each? And that's going to be the choice, actually. Pistols all around and utility for everyone, so a couple of players will have money in order to buy AWPs and stuff like that in the next round, or in the round after that. But yeah, Tech 9s for all on the T side.
So you guys can hear the Group B action still going on over on the other stream too. If you're interested, you can go ahead and check that out. I'm sure we have info over on social media with regards to that, guys. So anyway, continuing on with this match though, LDLC have gone for a very heavy stack into the tunnels. Mid to be split, looking likely, possibly a foul mid play, but XMS is just going to do it solo here as he pushes in. They've got a guy waiting for it, but oh no, he's completely dodged it. Rushing in, they have no clue what's about to hit onto this B bomb site. Lekro trying to solo hold it. Thankfully, there was a flashbang onto the player indoors, so Lekro's allowed to adjust. Grabs 2 kills before going down, and that buys time for Schneider to rotate in. 2 more for him, and it's all down to Existence, who has somehow gotten into CT spawn, so there's the surprise. 1 pickup for him, tries to do more at range, but he's in a 1v2 in the open, and that will obviously go into the hands of the players with the big guns.
So here we go, 11 to 10, and this is going to be the pretty much full eco from LDLC. Maybe Tuano can have some money to spare to drop a deagle for one of his teammates. Existence can buy a Tech 9 as well, but the players of Mistu and Alex pretty much can't buy anything because they need the money for this next round where they're going to get the AK. So Godsent looking at a easy around that as per usual, so they could bring themselves on 12 to 10 right now, and that's going to be huge for their momentum going into the latter stages of this map.
Push on Suicide too, with Godsent having a heavy presence there. That's a ballsy move, but he's just going to fade away there without losing his own head. The rest of the guys from LDLC, they're going to try to move in and take control of this door here, and JW ducks out just in time. As had they fought him there with the knife out, he would have been a dead man. Thankfully, he fades away just at the right moment, and now it's LDLC's turn to try and just go in over here towards Cat. It's going to be an all-in push, all 5 of these guys with an assortment of pistols, but not a whole lot of utility, so expect this one to be a slaughter unless they connect that flashbang perfectly. Oh, it's a cannonball in the form of XMS, but he gets knocked out pretty quickly. Mistu trading though, so JW is going to be found in the open here, and oh, Mistu finding another shot there. Those are headshots, all of them.
Yeah. Destroying
these guys. Flush is sent back around the corner, so they've got control of things. Not only this too, but Existence having a rifle to work with now too. However, the cavalry's here. They've rotated back in. Schneider's going to push back in. Existence just found another kill along with Twanu picking up the frag too. It's all down to Schneider, but he cannot hold it. Alex will pick up that last frag, and LDLC steal that one away.
Yeah, that was beautiful by LDLC, and basically just the first thing that didn't work out for them was the run boost, but that took a lot of focus onto that guy in the front, and then the rest of the guys were just able to come in and bomb rush aside. But that is beautiful by JLW, the reaction there. And
that looked like really far for a normal run boost.
Yeah, exactly. A cannonball boost.
That was skeet shoot, dude.
So here we go, 11 to 11, and Godsent now, as we have these trades of rounds going back and forth all the time, that forces a team that's on the back foot, just losing around constantly almost, to go into the pistols. But we see these pistols coming out huge for most of the players here. Pronax starting us off with 1, Tuano trading it back, but look at Flusher in the position with the deagle. This is where the headshot could come in handy, but it's not going to happen just right now.
Well, Flush now hanging back with the rest of Godsent here, trying to push their way forward, but again, LDLC too good of an amount of control now. They need to really wait for LDLC to overextend their grasp here, and they found that in a couple areas here. They managed to do some damage, but Molotovs come in, and it once again splits up the remaining CTs here. LDLC are in some really good positions, and unless these deagle shots ring true, it's going to be tough to retake this site now. And there's Mistu fighting the players in mid. Tuanu starting to peck them off as they work their way back in from long there. Using the headshot angle. He's getting played with by Flusha a little bit there, but Pronax not one for games at this point. Flusha finding at least one more kill, but then Tuanu finishes the job, and LDLC go right back to maintaining the lead here, now 12-11.
Yeah, 4k from Tuanu then brings him on 10k, so he's going to have enough money to buy that secondary op so they can get the double op set up. And it's going to be Existence and Tuanu on the ops on that T side, and on the CT side it's going to be JW once again on his AWP, but no armor on him, so only one smoke.
They are going to go for that standard split though, and Existence looking for the initial shot, almost gets it. A little bit too late on the shot, however. JW having much better luck though, back at long. Gets himself into a battle with the French hopper there. Hanut taking him down.
That goes down from CT, and that opens it for Alex because he knows exactly where Pronax is, because he can kind of figure out that angle. He knows math, and he knows exactly where the CT is. Gets that frag, and that's will tie us up. JW somehow got into CT spawn once again, or Existence got into that almost CT spawn corner, but got locked down by JW. That was the sentence I tried to make, and now the B bomb side push comes in.
Now they're going to push their way out to this one too. Schneider waiting for it though. He knows it's coming. The first pickup from him, they will trade that, but they still have to deal with Lekr on the backside. Alex though, easily finding that headshot. And oh, these such dirty flicks from JW. He's found Mistu, and it falls to Alex now. He's had some incredible shots, but this 1v2 is going to be asking for so much of him. With only 20 HP left here, he's immediately found by Flusha. They take him out of the equation, and with that, we go again. It's been trading back and forth here, but we go back into a tie now. We have tie like 9 rounds, 10 rounds, I think 12 rounds. We have the tie again.
Definitely. JW with a dirty round, as you mentioned. 3 kills from him, and all of them being shots where you wouldn't technically think that he's the one coming out in favor of that one, but he makes it happen because, well, he's JW. That's just how it is. The money on the CT side is not looking strong as well, so they're going to have to shuffle a bit around, get some drops going as well, but they are going to be buying full up, and the same are the terrorists. XMS only on a deagle though, but the rest of the team on pretty much the equipment that they want.
I'm trying to say I called Tuanu French in the last round.
Oh, yeah.
It's from Belgium. What do you call people from Belgium?
Belgian. I don't know.
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah.
It surpassed me for some reason.
Well, they speak French. They're from the French-speaking part of Belgium, so it's not all wrong, but yeah.
It's just a really weird.
Yeah, that
normally
whole thing.
Normally the word of like people from that country is different.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
I guess it's like plural of deer is deer.
Yeah. Belgium, Belgian. That's how it is, I think. Twitch chat would surely be correcting me right now if that's wrong. So
I was trying to think if there's like,
I'll get slaughtered surely. But Flusha right now holding down short with his trusty M4, does a bit of damage, but eventually that's not going to scare off Alex as he gets a frag onto Flusha and makes this a 5v4 in favor of the terrorist.
well, Pronax again going up for the big spray, but just absolutely wrecked by XMS with the wild push, and he almost takes down Lekr too. Dinks him, brings him down to 12 HP. Doesn't get the full frag though. Chaos has been caused, however, from this play, and guys from Godsent don't really look secure with their current holdings across the map here. They're going to try to sort of regroup back over in mid and still keep that one player back over in the B site, but LDLC, if they're able to sort of just even move up to investigate the ace a little bit, they're going to find that it's wide open for the taking. They can just walk right up cat to hold control.
So let's see here, Lekr on 12 HP, J-Dub on 34, so this is not going to be an easy round for Godsent to clutch, but it is still possible. The dream is still alive, but LDLC looking to hit the correct bomb site in this sense. Not much focus on the A bomb site from the terrorist side, from the CT side, so that's going to be pretty much open for business.
They do this with very little time on the clock. If there was someone hiding out like Goose or something, this round could have been over. They have to count their lucky stars that there isn't someone in that respect, and I don't even think Godsent are going to attempt the retake currently. They're way too low. Lekr and JW at 12 and 34 HP, and they've got 2 ops still, which could be risked and tossed over to the LDLC side in theory. So it's much better to fall back and save this since their own money is in a bit of a delicate spot currently. LDLC will get a lead, but I mean they've been able to trade these rounds very consistently for basically this entire half so far.
Now let's see here. LDLC will go up 13 to 13, but if we follow the model, as you said, or 13 to 12, if we follow the model, we'll be 13 to 13 in no time. And these teams will continue to trade. But interestingly enough, it will be LDT to grab it, and now Godsent will be on this weird quasi-buy where we're probably going to see maybe a couple of pistols alongside these 3 weapons that were saved in this round. So surely it's going to be Snyder And JW to drop some pistols for the teammates. Even a UMP-45 coming out. So this is not a bad buy at all. This is going to be pretty much a decent buy. 2 UMPs and Snyder with a drop weapon as well. So yeah, this is looking good.
So they have the double op power to work with here, but obviously, okay, avoiding getting kind of wrecked like that right at the beginning is certainly going to not help your case. Pronax the swing out though, the SMG in hand. It's found one, and also the bailout from Flusha comes in there too with the second SMG. The nade goes deep. XMS stays in his position though, and he does catch the trade, but still the odds are very heavily stacked against them. It's going into a 4v2 because of how heavily LDLC have tried to chase this. They've lost players across the map, but all of a sudden, again the tables turn. XMS and Troinu both get kills back to back. And now the 2 B players have to rush over to the site. They will not have enough time, however, unless they catch one of these guys luckily on the cross. That bomb is going to go down on the A site.
So there we go, the bomb coming in from XMS. Lecro just trying to spot over that position, make sure that he kills him, but the terrorist player just crouching down and making sure he's not spotted from Lecro's position. Genius play from XMS there, very aware of the situation.
Lecro trying to creep his way in, but that pressure from long is a real thing to watch out for. The smoke to assist him a little bit as he wraps in. He's got the support from that one. Almost a god play from Lecro. He gets that first kill. Tawana does not choose to take the engagement. He plays around the barrel, but a flick shot comes in. A split second shot, I should say, comes in from Taunu, and that will allow the shutdown. LDLC finally breaks this trading curse. Brings it up to 14-12.
So here we go, 14-12 between these two. LDLC on the brink of making us go into the 3rd map. The Flusher and the guys from Godsent surely focused now. And it looks like they're going to go play for the overtime here. So right now they're going to go for the pistols here. Probably allow LDLC on 15 and then hope for 3 straight rounds and pushing us into overtime. And, well, maybe they won't even need to go into an overtime here because Pronax opens things up with a frag. And that's a good start.
They'll push their way in. Existence finding one more out towards mid here. It was a good start, but again, it's always very hard to follow these starts up with something when you still have a limited arsenal. Pronax at the very least has retrieved the AK, but that's about all they still have to work with here. As LDLC is still just taking things slowly to kind of catch these guys in their bouts of aggression here. There's Taunu being knocked out. Or Taunu knocking out, I should say. Pronax there taking him down. Just Flusha and Lecro. And ooh, Flusha nicely done. Gets that one kill there. And they've almost got Existence down too. 19 HP. If they want to chase that, they can certainly go for it here. But there's another player back by CT. It works though. Spraying in through the door a little bit. Lecro finds the bullet. Knocking down Existence. And now this is even once more into a 2v2. Unfortunately, Godsent won't really be able to push through that smoke and make sure they hold bomb control. That would be very, very ballsy, and Flusha is about to meet his demise in a second here too. Alex going in on the flank, it takes him down, so now it's Lecro versus the world, but he finds the lineup against Alex, so now we're down to a 1v1, and Lecro's basically taken 0 damage here.
Ooh, inches away from actually spotting the terrorist, but he's pretty sure what's going on. The bomb should be going towards that B bomb site. Lecro is going to go the way of the tunnels and use that to kind of open up this plan. Actually, okay, he's going to go straight into CT, just jumping in for the aggressive play. And, well, 1 Molotov and 1 smoke coming in for XMS, but that doesn't matter. Lecro knows exactly when to peek, and he pulls that off to perfection. Going to get the defuse in as well, and Godsent bringing it back now. No reason to play for overtime. They're just taking it in the pistol round.
Well, basically what was a full eco there for the most part on Godsent. They managed to piece together a round that was 100% crucial in determining if they would still have a chance to take this map here in regulation time. With that one now, they've saved their odds, and that's going to be a huge detriment to LDLC. The free gun goes into the hands of Lecro. They were going to buy regardless, so that's going to give them like full utility. It's going to give them possible upgrades to an op that they wouldn't have had previously. Before this, their buy was going to be pretty insignificant, to be honest. They were going to be missing quite a bit, but now off of that one, they get to save quite a lot.
This is looking good for Godsent. They could bring it back right now. Look at the economy for LDLC. It's absolutely terrible. They have, well, only 2 guys on rifles, and Mistu, one of those guys, no utility. And this is looking like a straight B push.
They're going right into it now. Godsent Schneider, though, is going to be able to resist it, and it's an absolute massacre. 2 kills. Him and Lecro tag teaming it. 3-1. Now 4-1 trade as Flusha moves in for it here. XMS trying to keep himself alive. He has that smoke to support. He has cleared out the bomb site, but now he's alone in the 1v3, and everybody from Godsent slowly moves in to surround him. He needs to get this bomb on the ground, but he's actually taking a duel wide out in the open. Takes that completely, and now he's down at 7 HP. He's also, obviously, as you can see, he's checking it now. Has to do with the impending duel that moves in. Moves out. There's that kill, and he's almost got the other player back in CT. These are huge balls on XMS right now. He needs to try and grab some of these kills. He's got himself in that smoke, but now the flank has worked his way out from the tunnels too. He no longer has control over the B-bomb site. He does have a minute on the clock, though. So if he can find JW and take him down, the ice site is wide open. Pronak's trying to investigate it. He's clearly given JW the signal that he's escaped. He might be coming towards you. You need to pull back. You need to play this passively, especially with the open hand, that if JW is planning to use that, he's at 7 HP though, and JW knows that, so he switched over to his pistol, and he's going to close that one down. We are tied again now at 14-14.
This is an insane match, this one, between these two teams. No one wants to give an inch to their opposition. And Godsent slowly but surely fighting their way back on LDLC's map pick. Now LDLC are going to find themselves on this pistol round, and Godsent on the brink of securing map and match point once again between these two teams. And now the pause comes in. Of course, we will get reset in a second, but the pause will be coming in here from one of these teams.
I believe technical pause with the disconnect just coming in there from one of the guys on LDLC.
Makes sense.
Should be able to fix that and get back into the game in a moment here.
Yeah, surely. This is also a well-deserved breather for some of these players who probably, well, emotions are running high and heartbeats are running high as well. So just maybe using this little technical pause, just a 10-second breather. Just, chill out, guys.
You're acting it out now.
I'm acting out.
Do we want to do a group session?
Group therapy.
There we
just
go.
breathe.
This is now an asthma video on YouTube.
Inhale.
Oh, never mind. Ruined, of course. Thanks, thanks, B group.
Yeah, that is either the screams from Finland or from the guys from Hellraisers who are playing in the decider game in that group B.
I couldn't hear any languages. So
No, I just heard roar,
just screams.
roars coming somewhere. Of course, you can check that out over on Hugo's channel.
Yes, sir. But again, LDLC up against the wall, and it seemed like they had it. They may have had to deal with overtime, but they had that They had that 15th round secured. Just unfortunately lost that eco round from Godsent, and now there's a chance for them to take it in regulation and steal it away. 14-14. It's all going to come down to this. And with that rushed play, just feeling, I'm not 100% sure where the economy is currently for the LDLC side, but it can't be good based on what they brought into the last round.
It is at a maximum pistols with armor and some utility. It's not going to be M4s. It's not going to be an AWP for sure. So we're just waiting here for the technical issue to be resolved, and then we'll jump straight back into the game. The guy's focused as ever on the Godsent side. Pronax is he's just in the game. He's living in the game right now. He's just not noticing anything around him.
And again, the big players so far from the side of LDLC. It's been a great game from Alex. Tuanu again has been showing up to the table. Existence, I think the first half was certainly his sort of highlightable period, but it's definitely fallen off here in the second half. It's fallen mainly to players like Alex, and again, much like the last time we saw LDLC play previously, it was Tuanu acting as the big man on the field here for this team. That needs to change. We need to see other guys stepping up so far for the consistency factor. As you can look at it and see it again, Existence having a lot of that score coming in from the last half, but Tuanu and XMS too is another player I forgot to mention there who's been doing a pretty good job on the defense.
So right now we do see the pistol round, as I mentioned, coming out from LDLC. On the CT side, we do have two players on SMGs, which is technically a wise choice. When facing pistols, those SMGs are going to be worth their weight in gold. JW gets dinked, but will survive and
look at the
slow
fast
back. And
maneuver.
look at that!
Absolutely destroying
SMG
them.
power.
They wanted to give them no room at all to wiggle here on this round. No room at all for that upset, so they just try to crush them right at the start. And they've succeeded to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call this round over just yet, though.
No, because of the HP on JW and Pronax.
They're both very low, and if they can find them in overexposed positions, that's where they're going to have their chance to equalize it. Excuse me, and bring it back down into a 2 versus 2 here.
So right now it's a 3-man stack from the CTs towards B, and only one player on that A-bomb side, which is going to be Flusher, if I'm not mistaken. Flusher's on 100 HP and has a lot of utility to spare, so let's see if they can make this happen. They have not spotted him yet. He's going to peek out now, so now he has that info, and there has to be some rotations coming in from the CT side. It has to be quick. Flusher's staying alive. He's getting the frags, but will eventually be down. Now it's all on Existence to keep the dream alive. Not dead yet if he loses this, but it's going to be map and match point if he drops this one, and it's 1v3, but low HP on 2 players, so this is very doable for Existence.
They got to find this plan here too, Existence. He's got to prioritize onto that one here. He's looking for the clutch, but at 34 HP, he's got to be realistic about things. No, he decides to go away from it there, loses his life. No additional income comes in for his team. And off of that now, it'll send us over the last round of regulation. 15-14 in the favor of Godsent to decide whether Godsent will push through the group and knock out LDLC here, or if we go to overtime.
Yeah, last time we had overtime between these two teams, just a couple of hours ago today, it was LDLC who came out on top, but that was a way different Godsent team that we're seeing right now. They're really improved. We've said this time and time again throughout this tournament, throughout this group stage today. Godsent looked very bad in the beginning and are looking quite good right now, to be honest.
The question here is, has Twanu been spotted pushing in the smoke? In theory, should raise some suspicions, and, well, there you go. The shot comes out from Twanu. Looked like it was a corpse flying out there, but it ends up being a fully alive body, and they take him down. However, he also lost one of his teammates. Alex was taken away from this one, just catching him as he tries to jump back out of there.
So LDLC now has to put their minds to work. What are they going to do? And how are they going to make this round work? And this is dangerous. XMS only on a deagle, so has to pray to the Mexican Juan D. Guards and for them to give him something, because it's going to be very hard coming out against a fully bought up Godsent team who, well, right now no utility. They spent it all, but they all have head armor and all have pretty much the weapons they want to have in this duel.
LDLC spread across the map currently here too. Existence really moving in for an intel play at this point. The smoke so that he can try and drop in. That'll make a lot of noise and draw some suspicions over to here. The CTs will throw one of their own out in response to prevent them from going for that type of a push. But Twanu with the sneak in catches JW when his attention is drawn because of that smoke. He was expecting the drop-down player to move in and challenge him, but it comes from the opposite direction instead, so the mind game's being played. This is where Existence shines currently.
Let's see here. One player on that B bomb site. And that's going to be Lekro. He's going to be the man in charge. He has to do something right now. Gets the first double, and this could be the beginning of the end. Existence answering back, though, so it's a 2v2. Lekro still on this bomb side, getting that one as well, but time runs out. Godsent gets the final frag as well, and that is Godsent taking that 2-0 blue.
The previous major champions start off today looking like they're about to be eliminated with the way they play in their first match, but steady improvements, steady changes across the way that they play, and overall just an increase of confidence for some of the newer members when we look at Lekro specifically, and with that, they are able to take control of this matchup 2-0 and send the new French team, French hopefuls, packing early here, and they will drop out of the group in the deciding match.
What a game.
Yeah.
What a game.
Specifically on Dust 2, really well played from both sides of that one. Goes to the very bitter end of that, but ultimately, again, you just cannot compare it to the overall history and I think experience that comes in with the current Godsent roster. Even with the new guys on there, you still can't really, outmatch, Pronax's experience of that, along with JW and Flusha being added in there too.
Definitely, but I have to say, LDLC really had a good showing. They had a good showing last time when they went to ESWC. A good showing here as well, not making it as far in the bracket, but still, this is the team that people has to fear now on a legit level.
All right, guys. So for the last time this evening, we're gonna bring the desk back into the frame. Let's get Alex and the rest.
He's
of the
calling it a desk, not a table anymore.
Sorry, sorry.
Making some progress today.
Yeah,
boys, it happened.
It happened.
Godsent seemed to be back in business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Did you start worrying and doubting towards the end there, Blue?
No, I think they always had control.
That's a stretch.
And
I think that's enough for you guys.
Full control. Yeah, go away. Get out of it, Blue.
See you later.
Cheers, boys. All right, gentlemen. Full control is not the case.
Not really.
Natty's the one that sends them away, so we'll start with you.
That first half, though.
That first half, though. Yeah, thank you. Words out of my mouth. I'll let you run with it.
Yeah, what you gonna do about it? It's like so many crazy rounds in that one, and I mean, it was fun to see that Godsent actually looking like they had some ideas, that they had some actual executes and things going their way. Until Existence, especially on 2 occasions, just dismantling that effort from Godsent. But overall, I mean, eventually they do pick it up.
Yeah, and obviously we have to give a lot of credit to LDLC. They managed to get to 16-14 in a game which they definitely could have won in many instances of that game with losing both pistol rounds.
They won a single pistol, right?
Yeah, and again, Schneider coming up big in pistol rounds for Godsent and getting off to that great start. But LDLC's CT side was actually very fun to watch. We got to see Existence pick up the off like we see in the highlights right here.
This one here.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And not just that, but you can also see that LDLC started playing like the early editions of various games, just having aggressive CT sides, pushing out, just making things uncomfortable for Godsent. But the good thing for Godsent in this scenario is that even though they got rattled initially, and especially one of the rounds midway through the first half, you ended up in a 2v2 situation with Pronax and Flusha split completely on the other side of the map.
This was sick as well.
Yeah, another great example of Existence, just spatial awareness, and he's just in the right time, in the right place. that works out in his favor. But Godsent also having again some of those not so great moments. In the later stages. Well, obviously this is just Alex going ham, isn't it? More than anything, but going further down. One of the last rounds were, the 28th round, wasn't it?
No, round 26 is the one you're thinking about when they end up picking up at least 2 of the opening frags on long.
Oh, you guys were pulling your hair out. It was agony to watch.
Yeah. So the round Yona was talking about is pretty much LDLC trying to get control over long quickly, get shut down almost immediately, and everything seems to be in control for Godsent until Flusha, probably like one of the guys we hail to be one of the smartest players in the game and has more experience than you can shake a stick at, decides to do a completely unnecessary repeat, gets picked off, leaves his man, I think it's JW and Pit, all to himself. Pronax tries to step in as well at the same time to help out JW, eventually gets picked up by Toinu, and you end up in a situation where you just had a massive advantage in a round already won for Godsent, and it ends up turning around. LDLC picks up the win. Luckily for Godsent, though, they weren't the only ones having a mental collapse.
Because then the eco comes in.
Exactly. And in that situation, you find LDLC in a 2v1 situation with Alex and XMS pretty much on each side of mid.
Yeah.
And they find initially it was a 2v2, but I think it's Alex who finds the guy holding mid double doors. And in that situation, they know that Lekr is towards the A site.
Yeah, to the spawn.
And for some reason, Alex, instead of just backing off, knowing that he can hold B slope, and XMS already has control of the bomb, so he can go through upper dark into B, instead of playing that as this very safe 2v1 situation, Alex decides to take the peek versus Lekr, loses the duel. XMS ends up in an awkward situation where he still has utility, so he could play it passively, but decides to play aggressively outside of the B bomb site and loses the 1v1.
And to top things off, we see another LDLC force buy right after that. Instead of just letting Godsent get into the 14 and then have a full buy and have a real go at it.
Yeah, and as much as I like to praise Existence, that's one of the recurring flaws that he's had throughout all of CSGO, which is very, very uncharacteristic for how he was back in CSS. Obviously, like bit of different weaponry, Deagles would work pretty nicely in CSS, but you have to realize that that's not always the case. So he oftentimes puts his team in awkward situations where they buy up with limited utility or limited weaponry when they still have that that gap or that room to actually just take one save to the face and then come back with stronger weaponry, because they were doing pretty all right for themselves on the T side when they actually had utility.
It could be also a case of them like getting the false sensation of that working in practice in online games, or teams are not as focused as in this kind of environment.
But the thing is, like with Existence, because he's done this so much and he hasn't had anywhere near the success of, let's say, like an old LDLC, right? The happy teams and so on with these force buys. You would imagine that, okay, sure, it might work in practice, but unofficial, your success rate is about 3%. So at a certain point, you kind of have to face facts and leave it alone for that time and just realize you're going to get way more done if you actually have a fully kitted team.
Yeah, I just like that you called them happy teams, as if like they were just such a brilliant disposition. They were just so happy all the time. Of course, referring to the Frenchman.
That's when the
CZ, of course, as he's well known.
Before the CZ became something you had to put together yourself.
Oh yeah,
yeah, with a 17 million second reload time and draw time. All right, let's go ahead and have a quick look at the scores on the doors. This is how things did play out. I mean, we were singing the praises of Lekr. Now I know it's headshots. Yeah, I can. It's actually in brackets there, Halvor. You're right. Yeah, really should have read that instead of sitting there thinking, "Wow, what a spectacular half from JW." Oh dear, bless me. 24 frags for him though at the top of the score, but it does look like when the confidence is flowing, as expected, so are the frags. It was Flusha, JW, and Lekr all in the 20 category, and Snyder and Pronax just one frag away from that. It was Misty who had a poor performance, but overall, I mean, we know that scores don't tell the whole story, and the whole story was that Godsent did seem to find that confidence. And
I'm going to be that guy. I hate to do this, but if you score doesn't tell the story, obviously you need context to really back up the stats and everything. But Misty had a couple of misplays towards that B-bombs, and that was something that Godsent took heavy advantage of on their T side as well. You could see it towards the later stages of the half that they continuously went towards it. They started setting up with B-splits or just trying to find picks here and there towards the B-bomb side because Misty was misplaying it and oftentimes had to be bailed out by either Existence or XMS or whoever was closest to the rotation. And especially, I think it was a 3v3 situation where LDLC makes a call that they want to basically split up a focus heavily towards A bomb site after getting trade frags which is fair enough. And Mistu's basically sitting on the double boxes on the B bomb site. He manages to get flashed, and he makes the mistake of actually just getting up, revealing his position before he's actually not flashed anymore. So he gives away his position, doesn't really have any ways of finding a frag. And if he finds one frag in that situation, that's perfectly fine. That's pretty much all you can ask of him at that point. But it ends up just him giving away the small advantage that he could have given LDLC.
And these are the things you're referring to when you talk about fundamental CS. Yeah, these are the basics that sometimes do seem to elude even these T2 and even sometimes T1 teams.
It's very hard to kind of have the presence of mind to be calm in a situation like that. You know you're the last line of defense on the entire bomb site. You know B bombs is just like a hell to retake as a CT, especially with limited utility. So you think to yourself like, okay, I got to make a big play. You get overeager or you go too early, you miss your timing, and you end up hurting your team in that sense.
And that's one of the reasons we see a lot of CT sides now play heavy middle because of how hard B is to retake.
Yeah.
Well, with all of that said, we can remind ourselves of what this leaves us with. We've already waved goodbye to some teams, but let's take a look at refreshed Group A. This is what went down. Space Soldiers were very quick to get themselves locked into the semi-finals, and it was a much bumpier road for the team that was a Godsent. Managing to take alternate attacks out, the first team that were added to the pile of Group A. Following that, they've added LDLC there as well. 2 teams already eliminated from Group A, and 2 soon to be eliminated from Group B as well. Heroic have already been taken down. The Danes both invited and now eliminated very swiftly out of their group, and it looks like it's going to be Ents or Hellraisers who's next on the chopping block. That game is going on right now. So if you're hungering for more CS, you'll be able to find that over at hltv.org. There is being broadcast by one of our partners here at PGL for the CSGO Minor Championship, of course, for the European region. It has been a pretty solid day, boys. All said and done. If we were to kind of reflect upon the day as a whole, I think it's safe to say or assume that, however, you mentioned Space Soldiers as kind of the biggest takeaway from at least Group A.
From Group A, it was impressive to see them notch that first place.
But 2 best of ones, how much do you read into it?
Exactly, that's the thing. Like the real test is going to come tomorrow when they go up against Godsent in a best of 3.
I think there's been positive signs from this team since Copenhagen Games this year.
Well, true, but how if you're judging them by recent form in that type of sense, obviously best of ones can swing.
Yeah, of course.
Both ways very easily.
I'm just saying that
there's
definitely been a progress made in this team. Paz, Desby, Xantares, that triplet is really doing a lot of work.
But to be fair, I think that's actually the case for a lot. Well, 3 of the teams at least in Group A, LDLC, Space Soldiers, and Attacks all have made like pretty big strides and being just
becoming
getting gradually
more
better.
relevant.
Yeah, exactly. Godsent kind of taken the other route initially, but they seem to get
bit of a detour.
And I mean, I don't know if we can, but if we can, I'd like to bring up Group B just to kind of highlight. I mean, you've seen 2 very different examples of what happens when you lose a player. Heroic losing Glaive, we saw them crash and burn, eliminated first in Group B, and then you see Epsilon losing Disco Doppler and now locked in for the semi-finals.
Yeah, it comes down to a few factors. Obviously, it's not as simple or black and white as just changing the player is going to do the same thing for all the teams. For Heroic, obviously, the big storyline is that Glaive was doing the mid-round calling for this team, along with helping Snappy, basically. So that's going to be a massive hit for the team and the whole dynamic within the team. On the Epsilon side, obviously, Disco Doppler is an impact player for the team. Huge, but then again, he probably wasn't as impactful when it comes to calling and just giving them.
You still have your structure. If you're Epsilon, you still have your basics and still can make the same mid-round adjustments, which is tougher to do for Heroic because Snappy needs to actually make those decisions like in the moment. So they got Epsilon, they got that going for them. They pretty much need to treat Kala as the extra guy who they just kind of let
run around.
The 5th we need to have. Bot Dave hasn't cut it.
The grey matter, wasn't that?
What did you call them?
Grey matter.
It was
grey
matter. They were grey matter.
That was Attacks.
But they call us like the grey matter of Epsilon in the sense like, well, he's just kind of there,
just floating around, getting some frags. Well, we haven't actually seen them. We'll be seeing them tomorrow on broadcast, and that's what's going to be coming up. Of course, we're going to be taking a extended break after our first day.
That's the right word.
Well, it's because I kept saying quick break. I think But before we do that, we have got one final question from you guys at the community. We've been asking you throughout the day to throw your questions at us, and we'll be answering it live on stream. And this time, it's Dog Ryan back again. Hey. He says, if Space Soldiers finish top 2, will this be their big break? Which actually is very relevant considering that's something we were just discussing. You said that they started their path at Copenhagen Games, ESWC. We've seen good signs for them into the semi-finals.
They won Aces ROG. They won
Aces ROG. Yeah.
I don't
know. Big break is such a vague terminology.
That's the thing. Like,
what's the definition?
Exactly. Like, is it big break now?
Win the major.
Go there. Well, if they do that, then yeah,
Yeah, that-
definitely a big
If
break.
they win the major event, Doc Ryan, I think that's considered a big break. But no, it's very loose terminology, but I think it's safe to say that they have made
a-
steady
it's
It would be a
progress.
step forward. It would be a step
Yes,
forward
yeah.
into the major qualifier. I think, that's when you get lined up against the type of teams you're going to have to face there. Obviously, in a LAN environment, they don't get to do that much, do they?
Right.
So that would be the ultimate testing waters for them and see how this progression has actually become.
More than a big break, I would call it a milestone.
Milestone is a beautiful word.
An
Thank you,
an
Halvor.
opportunity.
An opportunity, a milestone, and you're right. The major qualifier is incredibly intimidating, and that's something that these guys here in Bucharest are not going to be thinking about, because step one is get to the damn qualifier, and that's what this minor has been put in place to allow teams to do. This is our first day wrapped up, though, live from the PGL studios in Bucharest. We've lost 4 teams already, or at least the 4th is on the chopping block as we speak. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and we'll be back at the same time tomorrow to start things off all over again. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the same.